Hey you, it's me. And I just wanted to give a little congratulatory shout out to Perfectly Imperfect. I can't believe that Chantal thought that she was the reason that you got demonetized. And I think it's hilarious that you could shove it in her face. Which is really interesting because I have been debating on making a video regarding Chantal. And honestly, I was hoping at some point, since she has gotten progressively more unhealthy, ill from diabetes and whatever else she has, and the fact that she said that she was going to go back to Canada to get healthy again, I was actually kind of happy for her. Like, not that she's ill, but that she's going back to Canada, hoping that, here's her chance to get out of this terrible situation. Hopefully, get her health under control, get her illness, under control so that she'd be a little healthier, a little happier. And maybe she could grow and learn from this experience. Maybe she could humble herself a little bit and realize that she is just a human as we all are. And honestly, maybe take this time to grow up a little bit. But I think that's too much for Chantal. I don't know that she can do that. I mean, I think she's a pretty awful person. She's very vindictive. She's nasty. But I really did hope that, maybe going back to Canada and putting all this ridiculousness behind her and focusing her health would make her somehow a better person. I don't know why I thought that. I know Amber she had an illness. She had surgery. She's just as bad as ever. So I guess I think it in my terms, like if I were that ill, that I would want to turn my life around. But they're not me. I'm not them. They're just not good people who do a lot of horrible, horrible stuff. um, and I don't know why I would want to wish Chantal well. I guess, I don't know, I guess I think everybody deserves to live a long and happy life if possible, and she's about as miserable as can be from all I can see. And who knows if she's really going to Canada or not. Your guess is as good as mine, because she changes her mind like most people, change their socks. So who knows with her. I haven't covered her much because I stopped caring about anything that she's doing. Same with Amber. They're not doing anything. Now, I personally, I'm a homebody. I like doing things at home. I much prefer being home than going out. So I don't fault them for that. But when I'm at home, I'll watch a movie, I'll read a book, maybe I'll do some drawing. I love doing cross-stitch stuff, embroidery stuff. Maybe I'll do some writing. I mean, I do stuff, that makes me happy. And these girls talk a good game about how they're quote-unquote doing stuff. But I just don't see it, I guess. I just don't see it. All we ever see is Chantal, are her talking about things and eating. You'd think that would be enough, because there's other channels where they do that, and it's enough. I don't get bored. I don't get irritated. I just, this is what happened throughout their day. That's interesting. Or, this is a subject that they're talking about. Oh, that's interesting. But these girls, speaking specifically on Chantal, there's nothing that she talks about. That's interesting. You know, I wanna be interested. I wanna think the best. But she's just one of those people who gets something, thinks it's wonderful, and then throws it out when she doesn't need it anymore. Amber's the same way. And God, I'm so bored of it. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what Chantal's doing. I suppose her going back to Canada could be very interesting, just because, you know, she probably won't follow doctor's orders. Who knows if she'll take her medication or not. But almost guaranteed she'll be hitting the edibles, you know, hitting the gummies, the wheelchairs. And at least that can be entertaining. At least she can be entertaining then, when she's high as a kite or drunk. I don't know. I wish she would take her health seriously. I wish so Amber would too. They both just take it for granted that everything's going to be fine and dandy, and they've jumped through hoops and had a few obstacles, but otherwise they're fine, except they're not. And as you get older, you realize that it becomes more abundantly clear. And Chantal almost being 40, I don't know how quick it'll hit her. It hit me probably around 45. But it's gonna hit, and it hits hard. It's waking up, aches and pains, headaches. There's so much. There's so much. Although both these girls, I guess, are already in menopause because they both have had hysterectomies. But it does get worse before it gets better. And I don't know if they realize that, but getting old is not always fun. It's painful. And if you have a bunch of other issues with it, it's going to be a lot worse. And who knows how far they'll be able to go with keeping themselves so unhealthy. And I say keeping themselves unhealthy because they are doing it to themselves. I know losing weight is a struggle. Trust me, I know. I think a lot of us have been there with losing weight to try to be healthy. But it's necessary. And you can do it little by little. I don't know if, you know, these two girls have enough time, but we'll just assume that they do. Eating healthy, but still eating things that taste good. I think that's where they don't understand. There's a line drawn there. You can eat healthy foods that still taste good and lose weight. And that's why you go to a nutritionist, or heck, you don't even have to pay anybody anything. You can just go online. There's a million recipes that are healthy, nutritious, takes out the bad fat, puts in some good fat. They all have to do is not be lazy and go online and look it up, or buy a book with healthy food for diabetics, whatever. I mean, there's so many things that they could do. Just small changes. Small changes. I mean, it was a game changer for me just to stop drinking soda. Game changer. They can do it. They just don't. And so this is on them. If they want to improve themselves and get healthy, it's on them. It's not on anybody else. They cannot blame it on anyone else. They will. But it's themselves. They're the ones in charge of themselves. They're the ones who should care the most because they want to stay living. And they don't seem to care. So there's not much anyone else can do if they don't care. Why should I care? Except that I do care. I think a lot of people do. We don't like them as people, but we don't want them to end up like Jen. It's so heartbreaking for me. I I feel so sorry for her. You know, I don't even know. She's a good person, bad person. I never really watched her, but no one needs to die like that. These girls could do better. And I know it's not the popular opinion, but I think if they were eating healthier, they would get a lot more snarky and a lot more bitchy, and probably would gain a bigger following because they would be saying worse things. And that would just be entertaining to us all. But anyway, I don't know what else to say about that, but I do again congratulate Perfectly Imperfect. I'm glad you got monetized again. And I guess that's all I gotta say.